And as always, we are back with episode 75 of Half Hour Henshin. As always, I am your host, Sleepy Witch, joined by...
DJ Azure, the 2.5D Hero Talk Tuber.
Oh, man. King Azure is definitely having an ending.
Oh, yeah. I'm enjoying it so much right now. Like, man, it's... We'll get to King Azure. We'll get to it.
But, that has to be mentioned up front, because when we only talk for Gotchard for a lot less time than normal, that's why.
Yeah.
I mean, Gotchard episode, still cute. God. Going back, we get that little bit from the beginning where you see Angel Copter, Valvarad, absolutely destroy the amalgams. That is so nice, because, again, getting the payoff of, Valvarad just gets jobbed, he gets jobbed, just to watch him immediately start demolishing everyone.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. What I'm also liking though too is that kind of I guess ever since I wouldn't say Dawn Brothers, normally around this time we would be getting a lull in the opposite show when the other show's ending, but no, they're just gonna keep trucking on and not have a weird gap to let the other show breathe. But we're in this now.
Yeah, and again, while we're not going to have as much to say on this week's Gotchard as we are going to have Azure, it's not because Gotchard has been slow or anything. It was a fun episode. It was cool. It's just, again, the ending's happening. It's really hype. A lot of stuff is happening at once, and Gotchard is still speeding. It's still ramping up, but it's not. We're not at the at the height of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's insane. I'm so excited for how this is gonna end up being. But man, the big thing to start off with this episode is that Zyukyun Fire really was never evil. He really was just not evil. He just was he just didn't know. Yeah, he just didn't know.
He didn't know that's how his powers worked, which is, a trope that I think is always fun. His powers and evil. First of all, I love the fact that whenever it's we have to deal with Zyukyun Fire, Spanner's immediately that sounds fucking stupid. Deal with it without me.
Yeah, it was so funny, seeing that.
I have nothing to do with that plot, so I'm gonna go home now. Goodbye.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Here's the thing. At first, I was oh, this episode feels a little disjointed because it feels like we had them, coming in to stop them from stopping Zyukyun Fire, and then they just kind of she decides, okay, I've done enough, I'm gonna go, and I'm oh, is the Zyukyun Fire and the Malcolm threat not gonna be integrated? I feel like that's a little bit of a waste, only for it to be immediately integrated the moment we actually get to Zyukyun Fire, and we're oh, we're gonna fix everything, and then she's guess who's back?
Yeah, it's oh, wait, you guys were about to use Talk no Jutsu? No, we can't have that.
Yeah, especially not without any stakes involved.
Exactly. But man, it was it's amazing. We have that little cute scene. It's also kind of crazy too, because we thought this episode also has something important. Zyukyun Fire just appeared in human form. He didn't possess anyone.
Yep. And the other big thing is Zyukyun Fire didn't possess anyone. He just appeared in human form. And skipping a little bit to the end of the episode, we do have I forget his name, Gideon? Gideon, yeah. We have him say that oh, keep using the key, you're infecting the chemies. Yeah, that was something again where the same thing, I'm oh, it feels weird that we're finishing the episode and we never got explained why he was just able to show up as a human, and then it's 2 minutes later, actually, we're about to talk to you about that.
Yeah, it's they hit it, they want to kind of just throw in not throw in, but more blindside you with wait, no, there wasn't much plot in this. No, here's plot.
Yep. Also, we got the new Majade suit,
dude, and this Majade basically being super martial arts. It's great.
Yeah, first of all, I love the suit. I absolutely love the 3 Cerberus heads on the helmet. Very cute. I love that it's called the 3-headed sleeper.
Mm-hmm.
Incredibly funny.
Yeah, and then using moon to do moon gravity essentially.
Yeah, for Cake, it's super good. And then even more, the finisher being like the Chun-Li kicks.
Yeah.
That's the one thing where I'm like, are all of Majade's references or like of kicks going to be references like that? Because we have the first one being the "You're Already Dead." Now we've got the Chun-Li like cyclone kick. What's gonna be the next one? I'm waiting.
Yeah,
But,
I'm curious.
yeah,
But
love the
yeah,
suit, love the
yeah.
vibes. The fight was fun, and then obviously the combination.
The fight was also really funny too because the Zyukyun is like, wait, you know what? Here, use my power, and immediately energy drains, and it's like that is a broken move, man.
Especially because
is...
the fact that he was able to Zyukyun the Chemis together, that was cool. I'm hoping we do get to see some kind of Zyukyun suit at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Especially since he's actually being given like a character more than a lot of the other Chemis are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, to really introduce the whole fact that the key, who is pretty much implied to be Hotaro, is basically making it so that Chemis are just showing up without needing a host.
Yep. Which the key, which is either Hotaro, like, because it's implied to be the driver, but like you said, it's probably like Hotaro himself. That's why he was probably in the world between dimensions or whatever as a kid.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah,
I love the ending bit with Zyukyun and Hopper is like in love with him, and Hotaro's jealous, and in the background Rin's like he's getting jealous over a Chemi. I absolutely, again, we're seeing them talk. I love the vibe of like you got to take everything from them. And we get to see, I think it's Akisis, like, smile super devilishly as he's holding, the new card to go with the Dread Driver upgrade. Which, again, like I was saying, Dread Type 0, I knew we were going to get a new Dread Type eventually.
Did you see a suit for it?
I've just seen the really fast preview. I haven't seen the full suit.
Yeah. Oh, man.
I'm hoping the transformation is just as good, because I love the scream into the, like, bones ripping out the back, like...
Yeah,
Chef's Kiss, fantastic transformation.
Yeah, it's the problem is those that look at it, they just like stuck stuff onto Dread, and it doesn't look the best.
I'm not the biggest fan of this looking at, especially because again, I think the original Dread suit is incredibly clean.
Oh yeah,
now
everyone loves that suit.
Now this half suit, I like the cape, the scarf cape. I think that, like, if this is half, because it's, like, the first upgrade, and, like, the next upgrade, we get, like, the other half of the white part. Because the white part looks good, just not together.
It does.
You know what I mean? So if we got the other half, I think this could be a really good suit.
Yeah, we'll see how it ends up. Like, because it looks like something that, like, they're basically gonna like do kind of like just like switchable halves, maybe.
And
but we'll see how it works out.
And this is also see only the first upgrade, so
yeah. And then but yeah, like also another thing too is that like we didn't see how they had to like erase the memories for Yua in this episode, but she does still keep the lingering memories.
Yeah, and she couldn't remember. She couldn't remember like his exact face. I do love the vibe that like at the end of the episode, she's we get the boyfriend like, hey, I'll cherish you this time. She's like, actually, I don't need you, and we get almost like a movie like, don't you forget him? And she's like walking away like, I didn't need this.
What's also really funny too is that the boyfriend has actually been in Gotcha already. He was actually the magazine editor in for the X-Rex episode.
That's funny.
It's actually the same guy. Yeah, it's actually the same one.
But yeah, next episode, Rage Form.
I am so excited for this form. Did you see the screenshot of it? Like,
it
looks so good. He looks like he's just about to say, square up. He's like, he looks like he deadlifts like 450.
Yeah. First of all, there's no way you can transform, but there is a forbidden technique. I'm not alone yet. Singular streamliner. We get the new upgrade, the single streamliner. First of all, this thing looks like a bad guy, which perfect. You're right. It deadlifts 450. I love the dumb little like bat adjustment that the Gotcha driver gets, like the single eye on top of. This thing is awesome.
I love 10-liner. I love 10-liner so much. Like what everyone's assuming is that it's most likely going to do a cast off. So like. It looks like it'll cast off, but at the same time, It just looks so hilariously Dorito shaped. I love it.
Yeah, this guy
It's
unfortunately
so buff.
does skip leg day.
Yeah. Oh man. I know we wanted to, and while we're still in good shape and we're talking about vehicles, oh man, I like you know what? It's like I know we said we were gonna spend a lot of time talking about King Oger, but we got the Boom Boonger press conference.
Oof! Oh man, I forgot about Boom Blue. Okay, okay.
Oh yeah.
To be fair, Boom Blue just stuff is extra. We still haven't even gotten to halfway through with Gotcha, so we have some time. Again,
Okay.
funniest thing, the fact that all of their names are like wrench, tire, glass, like axle,
Yeah,
brake. Fantastic. No notes.
yeah, it's great. Like, oh man, like what is it? Red is tire handle. Blue is yeah, tire handle. He's basically a burning hot heart and full of passion. I'm taking these from at Soul Caesar on Twitter because they translated a bunch of character descriptions. Boon Blue is Ichiro Meter, like meter on a car. He's the car salesman of the main three,
Which is an interesting vibe.
Yeah, he's the smart guy. Boon Pink is Shift Mira, Mirror, who's very bright and innocent, has a tendency to take off. She's extremely skilled at driving. Boon Black is Joe Axel, and you seem to like this guy a lot so far from the trailer.
He just the fact that like the bit we saw of him just seems like he's just down on his luck. And I do love that when we got the description, it's like he's gonna be comedic relief, and I'm like, that's so funny that he's gonna be like a loser cop, that like all the bad things seem to be happening to him.
Yeah, like and I showed you the cast picture. Like he's wearing overalls, so he looks like a goof already. It's great,
fantastic.
Yeah, and then we don't know anything about Genba Break.
Yep.
Which is funny. But the biggest thing though is the fact that the team name Boon Boonger is because their robot is named Bundario Bunderis.
That's just his name.
It's so good, and then it's short and you know he's a friend. He basically can either be normal size or grow to his giant size to be the main Robo. But like in the trailer, like it has like a little clip of him like saying, "I made curry, everyone." It's so cute, and we found and like you know everyone like realized it immediately because it was Rika Matsumoto who has sang for Kamen Rider before, sang Alive for Kamen Rider Ryuki opening theme, but most known for being Satoshi, aka Ash Ketchum, in Japanese. So it's very, very famous that it's crazy that we got her to voice Bundario. So I really just like it.
No, it's great. It's fantastic.
Yeah. And then
I mean, the vibes are great.
Yeah. It looks like a lot of fun. Oh, and we're getting a dancing ending for the first time in 4 years. Like the last time I know we got the King Oger dance, but it felt like, you know, something they just released on April Fools because, you know, like, you know, everyone loved the Dawn Brothers dance, and yet King Oger didn't have a dance at all. So like everyone knows it felt like kind of thrown together. But we get an official dance again for the first time since Kira Major. Oh, sorry, ending dance, because obviously Dawn Brothers and Zenkaiger had opening dances, which are high energy as hell, and I love them. And then the other thing I like, the other vibe I'm loving too, is the fact that the villain so far is we have one named Decotrade, Decotorad. And if you know about like customized cars, Decotora are like hugely like they're like hugely like customized with like giant horns and speakers on like semi trucks in Japan. Yeah, they're loud as hell, and yeah, like the fact that like this villain looks like him, looks like one of them. It's great. It's such great theming for it's such great theming. Who's voiced by Junichi Suwabe, who does a lot of voices. I
love the truck. That's so funny.
Yeah. Junichi Suwabe voices him. The one I was like super like, oh my god, is that really her? Was Itasha, and well, obviously I'm excited about this because if you know what Itashas are, they're like the super anime rap cars.
Mm-hmm.
That and like, you know, if you like, yeah, I sent you the picture of her, like, you know, she looks like, you know, one of those rap cars already.
Yep. And then we have Hamster Car.
Yadakar, who I basically learned that there's another Bandai Namco property called Pui Pui Molkar, which is apparently on Netflix, so you can actually watch that.
Yeah.
But apparently
it's about a little hamster car, yeah.
Yeah, and apparently this little car, which looks really cartoony, voiced by Sune Moroboshi, I think it was named. Moroboshi, yeah. Does the voice of this car, and apparently it talks a lot of shit that Dekotorad and Itasha cannot really like deal with it. So I'm really interested in seeing that group dynamic. But man, I like it's like, so far we have 3 good looking villains, and I love villains.
Yeah, they look fantastic. Well, here's the thing. I think that's probably all we need to say on Boon Boonja, because we'll be talking about them, Boon. God, you were so mad at that other pun I did. But first, we'll talk a little bit. King Azure the movie, Adventures in Heaven, or
So
Adventure
this-
Heaven.
Yeah. So this actually came out in the summer, like it actually
It came out
is
pre-time
before-
skip.
Yeah.
I was originally not super for it, but I was so confused at seeing black-haired Yadma. I've gotten so used to the blonde that I was like, oh right, he used to look like that.
Remember when you were on like I'm not big on orange-haired or blonde-haired Yanma for.
I'm still not big. I just got used to it. You know, he just looks like that. He made his choice.
I'm used to it because I like the Yankee style, but yeah, very very quick overview because it's very important for us to lead into the end game, but pretty much the big thing about it is that Gira's childhood friend is a priestess that can lead to the land of the dead, Kamabaka, and the kings essentially go through a small trial to, like, you know, see their ancestors, which is also the first appearance of Tofu's original leader, and it's really funny too because the way they frame it, like, you know, we know the truth now,
but we would
like,
not have known when this came out.
Yeah, she looks so evil.
She does. First of all, just to be clear, I love her. She's fantastic.
Yeah, she was amazing.
Yeah, we got to see. Yeah,
we get to see
Himeno and talk to her parents.
Yeah, and like that was, like, you know, really sad because, like, you know, her entire motivation throughout the series was just, you know, like, just anger about her parents and, like, you know, feeling thrust into that role.
And we get to see Rita thinking that everyone's gonna hate them because, you know, they put everyone in prison, but a lot of people love her. We gotta talk about the funniest part, that the retainers showed up by killing themselves, specifically with the lie detector that Yadma built.
Yeah, when I saw the lie detector, I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe they're actually using this again.
My favorite part is that it's just like implied that, like, they all show up, every retainer comes up to, like, help their guy, except like the way they do it is that they just say a lie, shock themselves, and die.
Yeah.
They just die. They have to be resuscitated. Oh my god, it was ridiculous. When what's his name? I keep forgetting what the blue retainer is. His name is. But when Shikara does it, I'm like, okay. And then later you see everyone show up and, like, does that mean they did? And then you get the extra scene at the end, which is everyone telling their lies, which was fantastic because, you know, Shikara's lie was like, Yama's great at fighting. Sebastian's lie was that Himeno is ugly, which, of course, you know, that's going to shock him. I like that for the other, like, 2, they didn't even get to, like, finish lying before the lightning already struck them. It was like, I am the lordly lord of Toku. He got struck before he even finished. And, like, I love working. They didn't even have to say working. They were like, I love killed. Yeah. Instantly.
It's so good. Yeah.
They had to be resuscitated.
And no, the funniest part about that too is, okay, so, like, the reason why they shot themselves is because it actually opens the door to the land of dead, and if you just walk out that door, you just resuscitate yourself normally. But the funniest part is that Shikara originally does it, and Yama yells at him for closing the door behind him because he was using it to escape.
Yep. My
It was
yeah,
so funny.
that was incredibly funny. It was also like it's interesting going back and seeing like Jeremy, who was still kind of like only vaguely interacting with them at this point in time, instead of being like a
Yeah.
really core integrated member of the group. You know, like
Hmm.
why did you come here without the king of the in between? And I'm like, oh right, I forgot we had this bit going on for a bit.
Hmm.
It was all cute.
And
It leads into a good
and,
fight. If I was gonna
and the
say, mhm,
and the fight is interesting too because it is against Raniel, who's the first leader
the first
of
has to,
Shigadum.
yep,
The first Hasty, and he basically does like a what was his thing, grave arms or something.
yeah, burial arms or something
Oh,
like that.
burial arms. Yeah. He basically does that, and he basically gets a very like Thanos-ish helmet, and he basically looks so demonic, with this power of the
He
dead.
does. I was gonna say that would probably be my only complaint is that I wish the burial arms actually looked a little more like a Sentai suit. It obviously doesn't have to look as clean as like their
Mm.
living Ojo suits, but I wish it was like fully like a more evil version of, especially because the suit already has like the like antlers for the bugs and stuff like that. Like a more bug monster version of the suit, I think would have been cool.
Mm.
I feel like it looked a little bit too much like this could be any monster we fight any week.
Yeah,
Uh,
but no, but no, like it makes sense though because since it is like an old style, like it looks like a more medieval suit
yeah,
versus like these modern suits that Yanma made essentially.
yeah,
Oh man, and we're gonna get back to that.
yep. But again,
but
oof.
and the big thing is that we got introduced to the Land of the Dead. We saw like
It was
all
like Yura's
these.
coronation before everything happened. Like he gets
Mhm.
coronated, everything is good, and we get
Yeah,
to see Doug Dead for the first time actually,
yeah,
because
and
he goes to hell and kills Rhino again,
he's extra dead.
which is
And
incredibly funny.
yeah, and it's really funny because like I didn't realize that the movie was canon to Endgame.
Yeah. Now,
And
second of all,
now
before we move on to the main thing I'll do. Also, again, going back to movies, we're gonna see the Don brothers in the Land of the Dead. Do you think they kill themselves? Do you think something happened?
okay, who do you think is gonna be the biggest reason that they all die?
Here's the thing. If you think about it, it could be any of them. Okay?
Exactly.
It literally, it's like, which one of the Don brothers is the one most likely to do something stupid enough to get all of them killed? The answer is all of them. Whether it's Taro doing something that it's like feasibly impossible for everyone else, and then he just goes there to like find them afterwards because obviously whatever he
Yeah.
did wouldn't kill him. Whether it's,
Mhm.
whether it's some kind of crazy love thing with Haruka where she gets confused and accidentally like detonates a bomb or something. Kiichino, I'm not even going to explain. That man's a mess. That man will accidentally kill them all.
Mhm.
Maybe they all got in a fucking police shootout because they're still chasing Inu brother. Like,
Yeah.
and also maybe Saru brother just died because his body realized this man hasn't eaten a real meal in like 10 years. There could be any number of reasons. They're all insane.
Yeah. I'm so excited because I'm really wondering how they're gonna pull it off as well too though because I like we talked about how like it basically felt like two very different things with Zenkaiger versus Dawn Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to see just it's like what I'm really hoping is that they don't do what they did with that and have the two halves first and then make them join. What I want them to do is that I want them to actually like just be a regular King Oger movie, and then Dawn Brothers shit happens and just makes it wacky.
Destroys every ounce of realism.
Yeah,
Again,
because the insanity of the King Ogers does fit with them.
Again,
Like,
maybe they go to the Land of the Dead to fight the spirit of Doug Dead, and like at the end of the movie, when all the random wacky shit has been resolved, Taro just walks up and solos him. Like he was like, "Oh yeah, you guys actually needed to deal with that guy."
yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
That's
actually,
like,
that makes sense.
just like they have like this whole thing. They're setting up everything. Maybe it fails, and then Taro just reveals that he could have just killed Doug Dead at any point because he's just like that.
Yeah, and then and oh yeah, and actually it would be great too because like everyone else, yeah, the King Ogers would be like, wait, what?
And there's like, how did you get so strong? Oh, just train every day. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's gonna be so funny when we actually get to see it. Oh man! But other than that,
Evacuation Plan Zero is now in effect, and oh my god, the beginning of this episode where we see the ship take off, and Gira is like, okay, I've stalled them just enough. And Doug Dead's like, let's see if Kamijin has anything to say about that. And you hear Gira screaming stop as the ship, goes out of control and crashes. And you just have Doug Dead laugh. That was... And we know that no one is dead. But, like, it's still, like, hard. Like, oof.
Yeah. Also, I was saying this so many times during okay, so I basically was repeating. I basically was saying this like twice throughout the weekend because I saw the Raw because I was waiting for the Boon Boodrick press conference, right. And I was watching the Raw for King Azure. But man, this episode was so Endgame coded.
I mean, it was the color grading is very similar. They are in a big field, but man, the vibe of everyone being on the ground, being dead, getting up. Himeno gets picked up, but it's like, I'll be treating you now, and it's the girl from the fourth episode.
2?
Yeah. The episode 2, who's like a doctor now and is here to help her.
Episode 3.
Okay, right. Because episode 2 was Yama.
Yeah.
The fact that all of Yama's boys are like, how long are you gonna be out? Like everyone's just showing up.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the amount of times I wanted to say on your left during this episode.
Oh my god, and it's just so good. Just everyone being like, "You guys are here," and Doug Dead just Doug Dead being completely confused during this entire ordeal. Like everyone's here. We're here to support you, and then it's like, we gave you an order, and it's like we are all here in rebellion. We will protect Terra as kings.
Actually, didn't I say that? It's like specifically like they're gonna rebel against everyone's a rebel, a rebel, yeah.
But I mean, here's the thing. It goes back to the foreshadowing from the opening. This is the story about kings who had to protect the universe, and the story of warriors in rebellion.
Yeah. It's gonna be it's so ridiculous. Like,
again, everyone being given their power up items too is super nice, because again, you have to remember they were willing to sacrifice themselves. They were like, we're gonna hold them off without our extra items and extra powers because we want to make sure that you guys get them. And everyone just shows up. We hereby announce and we're declaring war, and seeing all the little oh my god, Bugnarok as well come out. Everyone is fighting.
Yeah.
And again,
we get the Avengers lineup, and then
it's just women, children, random extras from the background.
Yeah, but it's really funny though, because we do know that not every single person, not every single citizen would be a fighter, but we actually do get to see them later on doing non-fighter jobs, which is great.
Oh my god, it was so cute. Yeah. We get to see the people who are fighting, who are criminals and warriors and knights, and a lot of the maids from Ishibana can just fight 1v1.
Yeah. No, I mean we knew that from the start. Yeah.
I know, but it was great. And then we get to see how bullshit Doug Dead is. He summons a billion shoe gods. He summons the four dead jesters back.
Yeah, it's what was even the point of that? We and then
the point was that Doug Dead's bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, it was just such Thanos bullshit. It was great. I loved it.
No,
every second of it.
All the random suits and stuff that they've used for a bunch of the different Bugnarok antagonists are back. There's a bunch of random shoe gods that are just recolors of shoe gods we've seen flying in the sky. Different people are teaming up.
And then, exactly. Yeah, we see different people team up, and then all of a sudden, we basically see a red costume that we haven't seen since summer.
Yep. And then we
And
get to
then
see the fucking, people are like Yanma and the people are like trying to come up with a substitute for immortality, and they're teaming up with the shoe god designer dude from Shugaram.
yeah, it's great. Everyone's literally doing like the thing that they're specialized in. But especially once
Yep. We
on your
lack
on your left from the land from Kamabaka.
Yep. We
Yeah.
get to see Giro basically about to be killed, and he gets blocked by a spirit whale, and
Hmm.
the dead literally come out and go like, everyone dies and everyone goes to the land of the dead eventually, but today is not that day.
Yeah, it's crazy. So we actually get even more team ups. So we actually get the actual three
We get all the
three with
original
yeah
rulers.
we get Rackles, Bashimar, and oh my god, I forgot the third one's name. The actual the live retainer. We get
Yeah.
to see them. We get to see them work together. We and everyone's like saying, wait, what are Jimene's parents gonna do? And immediately it's like we need to start shooting people. And then
Oh my god, the Himeno thing was so cute. First of all, this episode had me in tears for so much of the ending part of it. Just the especially the Himeno, and you should be treating Queen Himeno, and it's like, oh, she asked us to treat everyone else first, and you can see her trying not to cry. She smiles, and they see their parents work.
Yeah, and then and of course, I'm gonna get to them soon enough, to that part soon enough. But we actually no, we went through Himeno. We went. Oh, actually, no, I do have to get to that part already. So, yeah, we basically. Oh wait, that's right. Did we even bring back Jeremy's mom?
Yeah.
And Jeremy's mom shows up, and then we see Grody trying to kill Jeremy, and it's like, oh, let me help you, and then she just goes ham.
Oh my
And
god. Especially the funniest bit is just the fact that he's like, let me show off for you first. And then she obliterates Grody.
It's so good.
First of all, I
It was
always
so funny.
really, really like Jeremy's mom design. The suit is so cool. She's so
Mhm.
cute. And having her come back literally just to remind you, you gotta remind you that the only thing that took her out was one of the strongest generals that they needed the Ultra King Oger form and a bunch of other things to beat. Yeah, his mom was really strong. We get to see, the team up between Gira and Defnarok, which was sick.
Yeah.
Take responsibility as king or I'll kill you myself.
Dude, that line is one of my favorite things.
Oh my god, especially because,
man.
Defnarok was actually so close to getting a redemption arc only to be killed right at the end was
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's like he understands now that humans actually can be good. They were forced into the war and everything like that. It's like, so you better show me that you deserve this life. And
yeah, because you're
great.
the one who gets to live after the parents. I mean, we get to see Karas and the Tofu Overlord take the swords and take over the transformations.
Oh man, it's so great. It's like oh, look at you.
Also, I love
just being there.
Yeah, on your feet, I'm borrowing this. I love how casual the Tofu monarch is. If you don't get off your feet, I'm gonna help myself to the throne. And
yeah, exactly.
He knows, and that he knows she's obviously just posturing. So he's like, "You have my thanks."
Mm-hmm. And then and then Rita's mom also does it too. It's like, and then we get to see the first female black Sentai ranger. Yep. So that was also sick as hell, because both of them transform into Papillon and Hachioger, and they go ham as well too.
They immediately demolish people. We get to see Jeremy's retainer literally crush people with his body.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Garajim. Oh man.
And then we cut to my favorite background character making rice balls for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. Yep. We can't fight, but we can give you food.
Yeah, and that was so cute because obviously everyone that like I said, not everyone was a combatant, so they were helping either treat people or making food, and it's great because we basically see them, and it's like, no, we have to rest and sit because you guys can't fight on this empty stomach, and they're just actually enjoying and laughing and having this moment of joy before they have to get back into the fight. and
Yep.
it's so sweet to see
And
this.
and right as they're being protected, the original Hasty comes out from hell.
Yeah.
To which Duncan is, I should have killed you more thoroughly.
Yeah, it's really funny because he is double dead. He died and then
in the
died
land
in
of the dead.
dead.
Yep.
Yeah.
But he says that
He's
the
double
old
dead.
curses will be broken because it's time for a new generation that shall inherit the world. So too will the links of life be reforged. And as he says that, the gates closing, all the royal Sentai, get up, and we get Gira's final laugh, and that's her.
Yeah.
We'll simply have to teach you time and again.
Yeah.
And we're gonna get next time on the final Royal Sentai King Azure,
which basically means that episode 50, the final one.
Yep, we're gonna get to see stuff. Everyone's saying their names. We're gonna get to see probably just the end of the battle and then kind of what happens afterwards.
And the most important thing that we definitely have to get. Oh man,
universe size fight.
What?
That I was saying the universe size fight because we haven't been beating the Gurren Lagann allegations.
Okay. You wanted the universe size fight. What more important to me? I wanted my helmetless transformation. I want my helmetless transformation real bad.
Yeah, and that, to be fair, this is the episode to get it.
Yeah.
Again, I was just talking about because we see them fight in his universe world.
Yeah.
So I assume that's the big fight. So that's why I was just saying it because that's what I saw. But no, we haven't gotten a helmetless fight, and this would be the time for it.
Yeah, but I want my helmetless transformation so bad.
We will conquer the world. We still Def Narok is somehow still up there, and his tendrils are coming out. I don't know. Whatever this episode is, it's gonna be fantastic. This has been geared up to be such a good ending. I think I was telling you in the first couple episodes of King Azure, where it's man, this has such a strong start, and it would kind of be sad if it had kind of a bad end, but other than the weird baby episode.
Yeah, exactly. It's really funny. Yeah, every episode has felt so strong. Even episodes that didn't really advance the story were great, except for the baby episode.
The baby, and again, what sucks is it's just the baby part of the episode. The A plot of the baby episode is fantastic because that was the whole thing with Rita and Dabowski's sister. That was all great, but every time we come back to it, you're ugh.
Yeah, and the other thing too, though, is what is it? 3 weeks before that, we had them actually turning into children, and that was one of the funniest parts of the episode. If not just for Dabowski saying "Tofu kids eat good,"
tofu kids are built different. No,
yeah, that was so good.
That was all fantastic, and again, the fact that episode is, I think, within the final 8 episodes, it just the fact that it was there. If we had that gag way earlier in the series, I kind of would have been oh, it was cringe, but it's whatever. It's a kid show. I don't care that much. But it's just where it was placed. That was the one episode that I'm always
looking back on this episode, we started off with budget and we are ending with budget.
Yeah,
because I said, so apparently since since Zenkaiger, so since 3 Sentais ago, they actually had already been looking to the MCU for inspiration. So seeing this episode have pretty much the same shot composition at times, and especially the color grading.
The color grading, the background, again, the vibe was just there.
Yeah, like I said, on your left is pretty much the best way to explain how ridiculously Endgame coded this episode was.
But it's good, that's just how it is. It's been good. We're probably going to talk about it a lot more next week. But
yeah.
As always, guys, thank you for listening to Half Hour Henshin, the only place where a half hour is sometimes almost 40 minutes. We will talk to you next week. Later. This program is brought to you by
our unending love of tokusatsu.
If you enjoyed the show, please be sure to like and subscribe.
And hit the bell for notifications. And if you would like to support us further, consider becoming a patron at our Patreon, Half Hour Henshin.
You can get some exclusive benefits, such as your name in the credits and joining our sticker club. Or, if you want to help with a one-time donation,
you can also find us at Ko-fi at Half Hour Henshin. You can email us with any questions or theories at halfhourhenshin@gmail.com or on Twitter at halfhourhenshin.